on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Rufus. We're back at it with another installment of the Rufus Rundown. So, a little bit of a hiatus, I think. We haven't talked since the Super Bowl, so that's the thing. I run into some schoolwork, and then really didn't get on the Super Bowl when I wanted to get on it. So here we are. Still want to talk about the Super Bowl. I've actually let it stew for a week. It's been a week to the day when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on a Sunday night. So here's the thing. Wednesdays and Saturdays are going to be the new days for the podcast. I like the idea of that. It's easy for me to record on Tuesday nights, and it's easy for me to record on Friday nights. And also, having those consistent days allows me to set up, my news cycle the way I want to. So Wednesday and Saturday record, Tuesday and Friday nights. That's the deal. That's the way we're looking at it. So, very happy with how everything's gone so far this year. I think I've actually considering week-wise, we're already on episode 11 of this season, so I've definitely done more than enough this far. I kind of, I haven't posted as many clips or anything. Needed my time. I have other projects going on outside of this, along with school and getting ready for football and such too. So that's all a part of this. So what do we got today? I still want to talk about the Super Bowl because we can talk about the parade too. Because I'm playing Jalen Watson. They had to wheel my boy Jalen Watson out of there. Patrick Mahomes is all over the place. Travis Kelce was the least of their issues actually. Considering he's looking for his WWE contract, he's actually hosting SNL soon. I do want to talk about the NBA and the All-Star game, and we're going to be looking at going forward. So some NFL predictions, early NFL predictions. I'll give you my early MVP, my early Super Bowl, and we'll go from there. But anyways, I do want to talk about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 2. There is XFL football too, which I'm going to try and keep up with, try and talk about as well. Just because I do want to watch it. I love watching football, and they got some serious names in the XFL in terms of guys that are going to be playing with them and trying to build up their stock. So I'm excited to see how that goes for those guys. But the XFL, I think it got its official start, I believe, last night. So let me look here. I think ESPN Plus is going to have every game. Of course, it's sending me to watch ESPN. I'm trying to pull up the link for the XFL, the league itself. That would be helpful. But it might be too much to ask for. No, here we go. XFL. So the Battlehawks defeating Brahmas 18-15. That was the score. 15 points in final minutes to do it too. So they were trailing, and they get the Sea Dragons and Defenders tonight at 8. So literally, as I finish recording this, is when we're gonna be able to catch a glimpse of that. But I'll try to keep up with the XFL, provide some coverage for it, because obviously there's going to be some guys that can make that jump to the league, and obviously we'll have that in the league. Are going to be some entertaining players to watch, so I'm excited for that, to be able to watch that. But anyways, Super Bowl, Chiefs, Eagles, predictions came true. I should have stuck with the purple Gatorade. Ryan Quinlan said I'd just be trying to lose money if I made that bet. Turned out to be purple, and it was the highest odds, so I don't know. I should have stuck with my gut there. Chiefs 38, Eagles 35. Obviously, there's the holding call everybody wants to talk about. Here's another instance, and that's first and foremost. Another instance of people saying that it was rigged and that call made the difference and that they got cheated out of the game. Countless other opportunities in that game for the Eagles to win that game for themselves. So, again, as an athlete, as a person who plays football and now plays it at the collegiate level, I don't see how you can say that one play did it. And I'm a Saints fan. I've watched it. I've seen the worst of the worst, and we still had opportunities in that game. So again, the Eagles did have a better third down efficiency. But the Chiefs had better red zone, and the Eagles caused more turnovers. So really, the Eagles did outplay them in a sense, but considering the second half Kansas City had, they didn't stop Kansas City once. They had their opportunities in that game. You can't deny the fact that they had opportunities in that game, and they just didn't capitalize on them enough. I have a load of respect for Jalen Hurts. The way he played, throwing for over 300 yards, throwing for a touchdown. He also ran in 15 carries for 70 yards. So, I do have a lot of respect for what Jalen Hurts did in that game. Kelsey did his thing. Isaiah Pacheco did his thing. So the Chiefs were just a well-oiled machine. I said it from the beginning. I thought that they had the better quarterback and the better coach. And Mahomes throws for 3 scores. I think they scored on every drive in that second half. Jerick McKinnon making a incredible play in terms of for the team by just sliding down before the end zone. I thought it was a very, very smart play by him. And you ask guys to do that, but it doesn't necessarily, screw that. I'm getting in the end zone. It's the Super Bowl. I'm getting a Super Bowl touchdown. He did the team play, and he slid down, which came out to be big. Devontae Smith had a pretty good game. He got clocked at the second play of the game. Devontae Smith got clocked. A.J. Brown did his thing. I thought it was a very entertaining Super Bowl. I truthfully didn't care who won. Either way, I was just very the QB sneaks that Philly's running brings it back to the inception of football. I don't know how other teams don't do it as well as Philly does, by the way. But overall, I'm not gonna lean on that one call as the different. There were so many other opportunities for the Eagles in that game. They were a stop away in the second half at any point, and they just couldn't get it done. But I thought as good as Sirianni was, I was impressed with the entire organization. But still, I just think they were out-coached and out-quarterbacked in Mahomes. That's tough to say because a guy like Jalen Hurts, he threw for 304 yards, ran for their 70 and 4 touchdowns. How can you say that, that fumble comes up big? That fumble is really just the big impact in that game is that one turnover because I think red zone wise, I think they were almost the same. I think one of the times the Eagles didn't convert in the red zone and they were better on third down in terms of third down conversions. So you could TRT. It would have been leaning it leans whoever did the turnover battle, and it turned out that one turnover proved to be the biggest difference. That's what I really think is it comes down to that Jalen Hurts fumble. But again, you go through it. Kelsey, Juju had 7 catches too. Everybody's all over Juju for finally being able to dance the right reasons, and a lot of talk on Twitter. Players doing their things become more and more prevalent. Maybe it's part of their WWE scripting. Babyface turn heel, stuff like that. Maybe it's part of that. I personally am not. I'm not of the scripting. It's scripted type background. That's not me. I'm not of that belief. But yeah, that's the Jalen Hurts fumble is the one that comes up to be big, and everybody all over Twitter doing the thing. What I do think I would want to commend the Eagles for is that they didn't they had they were asked so many questions. They could have said, "Oh, it was a terrible call." Bradbury admitted to holding him on that play, and I thought it was a hold. I'm sure there's worse that goes on throughout the game, but a call is a call, and it doesn't determine the entire outcome of the game. It doesn't. There's so many other opportunities you have throughout a football game to take care of business. If you're going to blame it on one call by a referee, you straight up did not play well enough to win that football game, and that's just the harsh reality for the Eagles. And that's a harsh reality that they admitted to. They talked about it in all the interviews. They took complete accountability. Sirianni took accountability. Jason Kelsey, hope he's back. He was very emotional. Because both the Kelseys were very emotional on their podcast as well, considering how much spotlight time they had with their mom and everything, and how cool of an experience that was for them to share that with their family. They were in the spotlight, man, and it was super, super cool to witness. But like I said, again, total accountability from the Eagle staff. I'm really cool with that. All the players, the turf field people were slipping on. There was no blame placed there. Everybody just said, hey, they had to play in the same field as us. They had to play with the same refs as us. Everything was the same. So I don't really know how we can go out here and say anything else other than the fact that we just didn't play well enough. One of the highest scoring Super Bowls ever. Like I said, super entertaining. What wasn't entertaining was the halftime show. 5 out of 10. That's my hot take. That's what I almost forgot to bring up. the halftime show. I got a lot of hate for that. I did not like Rihanna's halftime performance. Wasn't a fan. I thought it was very lame, very boring. She didn't bring out Kanye. She didn't bring out Jay-Z. And I just, she was pregnant, so she wasn't doing anything crazy. So I just didn't think it was good enough. Point blank. Hot take. I know people aren't going to like it. It was not good. Not good enough. I expected way more from Rihanna, and she did not deliver. Unfortunate truth. I guess consider that the halfway break. I mean, talking about the Super Bowl. But again, TRT, it came down to the turnover. The Chiefs forced that turnover. Very impressed with Jalen Hurts. Very impressed with the Eagles staff. I'm even more impressed with the Chiefs and how they went into that second half and how they just dominated the rest of that game. And what they've been able to do with a lot of these late-round draft picks and essentially rebuilding. Sky Moore, 1 catch, 4 yards, touchdown. Kadarius Toney, 1 catch, 5 yards, touchdown. Plus that punt return. Like, a lot of pieces came together to, when you look at the rewind of it all and all the pieces that fell into place and all the moves that were made throughout the season in the past, like, it really is cool to break it down that way because they've done a really good job. They've found a lot of value all over the field to get back to the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes is now right in that. He's not in the conversation at the moment. The one that's been talked about now is if he retired today, would be a Hall of Famer. Absolutely, 2-time MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champion inside of first 5 years. Like, yeah, been in 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, he's. I think he would go into the Hall of Fame right now. I mean, you look at the eye test, you look at everything he's done. I think Patrick Mahomes absolutely slides in the Hall of Fame. The other thing being, I think he's in the driver's seat to get into that GOAT conversation. I really do think he's in that. He's in the driver's seat to control his own destiny in that sense where, like, if, he can continue to, he's on pace for, nine Super Bowls right now. So he's just on a different level, playing through the injury the way he did, and you see him screaming in pain. I just saw a really cool video that I'll probably link in here.
Set. 3rd and 15, picked up by Mahomes at his shoe top, trying to fight for more time to run. He'll scramble. He's at the 35, but he's ankle tackled there at the 36. And he's hurt. Mahomes is hurt. He'll get up limping.
He's in agony on the sideline right now.
He rolled it. I'll be fine. I'm good. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. Love the moment, man.
Comes in motion. Here comes pressure to the outside. As Mahomes steps up, he's going to scramble.
What a run by Mahomes, up 26 yards.
He is limping back to the huddle. Don't underestimate how tough Patrick Mahomes is.
Just how impressed I was with him, screaming and gutting through the pain and getting back out there and still being able to do, everything that he did to win his team another Super Bowl. Was super, super impressed with that. But like I said, him and Hurts, both the quarterback play in this game was tremendous. I lean more to Mahomes, even though he had less yards, just because like the different weapons that he had and the plays that he made in the big moments. Like, I'm gonna lean Mahomes, but Jalen Hurts also too, right in that conversation. And when we talk about my top 10 QBs, who I have as my top 10 QBs heading into next year, let's see if he makes that cut. But he's been incredible. I think you can just tell based on the way I'm talking about him that he definitely slides into that conversation now. But again, it was just the Chiefs overpowered with coaching, man. Chiefs overpowered with coaching and a guy like Patrick Mahomes to just take this point. Because you look at those goal line plays where they just absolutely discombobulated that Eagles defense and what they're able to do and just have guys wide open walking into the end zone. Again, that's just the Andy Reid coaching. And Big Red's back for another year, and they're trying to run it back. And I'm sure that everybody stays healthy. They'll be in that conversation. But I think the Eagles lost both coordinators now because the Colts hired the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator went to Arizona, which is another talking point for me in a little bit because Kyler Murray, there's a video I caught of the new coach Jonathan Gannon's dropping all of his stuff. Now he was the Eagles DC. Now he's the head coach of the Cardinals. Dropped all his stuff to go see Kyler. The way Kyler looks awful. I know he tore his ACL, and you're not gonna look like fantastic, but like when you see the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. It does not look good for Cardinals fans. But anyways, I'll stick with the Super Bowl. Mid halftime show, absolutely mid, dead on, bang on mid, 5 out of 10. But super entertaining game that made up for it. And again, I'm not of that crowd that's totally gonna put it on a call. I'm not gonna put it on that one call. I refuse to do it. There's other opportunities in the game for either team to make up for it. And at the end of the day, the Chiefs capitalized on more of those than the Eagles didn't. And that's where we have our result. But I do think these are two teams that are very well set for the future. I think really with the Eagles, it comes down to their offensive line and how much that they can keep together and how much of them they can keep healthy at their age. I think that's a huge part of where their success is going to be, especially a guy like Jason Kelsey, and getting Jalen Hurts' shoulder healthy, because that Hail Mary throw did not look good, did not look healthy. I'm not sure if it got tipped at the line or anything, but it did not look like someone of a healthy shoulder. And that's kind of that Cam Newton take that Ryan Quinlan brought up, where it's like, I don't totally agree with, like, I can see the similarities there, but I can't at the same time. But in terms of the shoulder injury, I absolutely can see some similarities in terms of his, there being a performance drop-off because of that shoulder injury and how it's going to linger. So I absolutely can see where he's coming from in that regard. And again, if you haven't, go check out that video with Ryan Quinlan. I'm sure up in the top right, you're going to see it run by at some point. To click it out. It was a good interview with Ryan Quinlan, one of my favorites so far, my favorite guest so far. That's a little side note. But yeah, I just that Hail Mary throw is really the only in that fumble, the only like two little knocks I have on Jalen Hurts in that game. I was really impressed with the way that he played, and this is a really impressive young man, and the way that he handles himself in the media and the way that he carries himself in general. I don't think we see this all that often. Jalen Hurts is a very, very good role model for the young kids to look up to. And the same as Pat Mahomes. Everybody's complaining about the parade. Dude, they're celebrating. Like, everybody's doing their own thing. Like, Jalen Watson had to be brought out in a wheelchair. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady's 40-something. He's supposed to be this great role model too, right? And he's getting walked out of the parade. Like, these guys put so much time in. So much of their time goes into being professional football players and just the pain, the physicality of everything. Let them celebrate when they reach this big peak of a goal. I'm so, like, people complain all the time about it. Like, I don't see how you can complain about how these guys celebrate. I mean, they're not doing drugs or anything. They're just drinking beers, doing the thing. Like, Mahomes, the parade was hilarious. I thought it was super funny. The guy, and by the way, Jalen Watson's story, he was a JUCO player. He decommitted from USC. He was working at Wendy's with his mom when he then transferred to Washington State. Was a 7th-round draft pick, and now as a rookie played an instrumental role in the secondary and is now a Super Bowl champion. So, yeah, he overcame a lot. So, being a 24-year-old rookie winning the Super Bowl after working at Wendy's, being wheeled out on a wheelchair of the championship parade, while it might not be the best role model material, I'm not going to hold it against the guy because clearly he's been through a lot and clearly he had a right to celebrate. And being on that level, I do not hold it against him one bit. Same with Mahomes, same with any of them. Like, there's so much that goes into it, honestly. With Mahomes' at-home situation, I wouldn't blame him for having a couple extra beers at the parade. But the way he was just handing around the fake Lombardis and doing his thing when the kid threw the football at him, and just, again, I'm a Mahomes fan. I like the character of the kid. And again, this is another Super Bowl. I just didn't really care. I didn't care if we won. I would have been cool with either team winning. I think they're very well-run organizations, and this is the first time in my life that I actually haven't hated the Philadelphia Eagles with a burning passion. So that's saying something, because I have nothing but hatred for the Philadelphia Eagles organization. This is the first year of my entire life where I have not hated them with everything that I had. So shout out them for that. Same with the Chiefs. Everybody hates the Chiefs, and I think it's just because nobody, like, especially in this New England area, wants to see another dynasty and see someone running it. Well, the Chiefs are very well on that path. I'm not sure if they can keep it up for the way the Patriots did for 20 years, because we've never seen anything like that. But hey, it's a possibility. It's that's the thing with sports, is like you never know. So again, Chiefs are on a war path right now. Can they continue to do it? How long is Andy Reid going to stick around for? How long is Pat Mahomes going to be able to play at this level for, stay healthy for? Are all questions, because he continues to get banged up year in, year out. But he's a warrior and continues to push through it, and that's impressive in its own right as well. So it'll all be interesting to see. And like I said, I wanted to talk about what my predictions going in would be for next year as well too. Top 10 quarterbacks, stuff like that. Again, the Kyler Murray video, it's going to be on your screen now. He looks terrible. This guy, Jonathan, again, segueing from the Super Bowl, by the way. Talk about it now. He looks awful. He looks terrible. He looks like he has a gut. And all the stuff about him not wanting to watch film and having the clause in his contract that he had to watch film, and he likes to play his video games all the time. It's all starting to kind of come together. You can see how bad he looks in this video. Like, it's continuing to look worse and worse for the Cardinals, and them deciding to pay Kyler Murray. Like, it looks bad. I mean, you'll see it in this video. Like, just take a gander. You're gonna see what I've seen. It's bad. It's not good. So it'll be interested to see how the Cardinals are going to handle that. And Jonathan Gannon's is, if as a first-time head coach, is going to have to handle that, because it's worth bringing up. He looks awful. This is a guy I consider a top 10 quarterback in the league, and now I don't even know where the hell he fits in going into next season. But that's what we got coming up next. I got my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL going into next season to close out NFL talk until we start getting into the draft and free agency and stuff like that. So top 10 quarterbacks, here we go. All right, so top 10 quarterbacks, here we go. Number 10, Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr is free agent. The whole benching thing with Josh McDaniels, I feel like that was more of an organizational disaster than it was actually on Derek Carr. So, yes, Derek Carr coming in at number 10, whichever team has. He's been through so many different coordinators, so many different coaches, so many different offensive playbooks, and he continues to throw for 20, 25-plus touchdowns and 4,000-plus yards every year, continues to do it, and I don't see him slowing down wherever he goes. He's so adaptable. He's a good teammate. I don't know if he ever steps into that top 5 realm, but he's a dude. Flat out, he's a dude. He's better than Kirk Cousins, and I think if he falls in the right hands, he's going to surprise some people in a new system outside of Vegas. Number 9, Jared Goff. Yes, Jared Goff is in my top 10. I don't know who else are going to really slide into this top 10. I like Jared Goff a lot. He had a great year with the Lions. I'm hoping he can repeat it, but this is me going into next season. What I have, Jared Goff, my number 9 guy, with a very electric Lions offense. It's, I think, only going to continue to get better. He was clearly not the issue. Because, again, Stafford, the injuries and everything, I don't know. Matt Stafford's probably a guy that should fit into here. Kyler Murray is going to be coming back from... Again, I don't see Stafford being in the top 10 anymore. I think he's aged. I think he's washed. I think Russell Wilson's washed. I mean, there's some guys in here that you're going to be asking, like, oh, my God, how do you put Jared Goff in there? Like, just look at the year these guys had. Like, I'm telling you, Daniel Jones didn't make it either. He's probably on the cusp, just on the outside looking in. Justin Fields the same as well, too. But these like, Jared Goff had a year. He did. He really did have a year. You can't deny the year that he put together. So I'm rocking with Jared Goff at number 9. Trevor Lawrence, number 8. This might be low for some people. I don't. He showed some signs, and other times he didn't. Especially in that playoff game coming back, but he showed the scary side of himself early on too. So kind of a tough one. I don't see him, again, the people that I'm about to name in front of Trevor Lawrence, I don't see him in any conversation being better than them. So following Trevor Lawrence, I mean, again, great year for the kid. Certainly has a bright future. But again, I'm rocking with him at 7. He's at 8. Lamar Jackson, number 7. Dynamic player. He might end up with a new team as well. I'm rolling with him wherever he goes. He's a dude. He's an former MVP, and I just think, like, you just can't be doing quarterback design runs with him. Again, a new system, a new place would certainly, I think, help out Lamar Jackson. But super talented guy. Another mobile guy right in front of him. Jalen Hurts, just missing out of the top 5 at number 6. Again, this guy arguably could have been the Super Bowl MVP on the losing team, played a great Super Bowl, had a great season, losing his offensive coordinator, but I still think it's more Sirianni to do there. Has so many weapons, but we'll see if that O-line can stay intact to keep him at this level. Now we get into the top 5. Aaron Rodgers, number 5. He might be in a new place as well. Aging and clearly still on the whole debating football thing. Might not be the best teammate. Not exactly putting the team first in these, in like the idea of being a good teammate. Last couple off seasons looks super weird, but then again, a lot of the stuff in the media gets misconstrued according to him. So we might not be getting the full story. End of the day, I think he's a top 5 quarterback, but I don't think he's any better than 5. Number 4, Justin Herbert at number 4. Super talented guy out there on the West Coast. I think he speaks for himself. Josh Allen, number 3. It's just the turnovers, man. It's the turnovers because he's got everything else. He just needs to slow down on the turnovers. Was just a rough year for them overall. The way that they finished out the Bills, they need to cut down on those turnovers. If their efficiency improves, I see them as a Super Bowl team for sure. Joe Burrow, number 2. The only reason he's not at number 1 is because he didn't beat. Even if he beat Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he's better than Mahomes. And I think Mahomes is a clear-cut number 1. As I said, the dude's a warrior, plays through injury, makes incredible plays. I don't know how he does some of the shit that he does. Super, super impressive. And again, another Super Bowl winners. 2 out of 3. He's 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins, and 2 MVPs now in his first 5 years. Like, that's crazy. Or his first 5 years starting quarterback. Like, that's crazy to me. Incredible start to his career, and I hope he can just keep it plugging along. But that's my top 10 quarterbacks going to next NFL year as we now get into NBA talk and the All-Star break. And what I thought about the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, All-Star game I don't care for, but the whole All-Star weekend and how it looks to me. So we got NBA All-Star weekend. So we had the dunk contest, right? Dunk contest was Mac McClung. He won it, which again, I'm confused with. I'm confused with the NBA at this point because there's no All-Stars competing in the All-Star events. Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest, the Weber State jersey. Mac McClung, don't get me wrong, cool story for him. Kind of reminds me of when they had the AHL guy who won the fan vote and they actually let him play in the All-Star game and he was actually down at that point. That to me was kind of the similarity there because don't get me wrong, guy's a great dunker, crazy athlete, Mac McClung. I'm just so confused with the NBA and how they're doing their business with it's I don't know, I don't want All-Star Weekend to die. I think it's a really cool event with the Rising Stars game and everything, but I think the incentives need to be up. $100,000 for the kid is it's $100,000. None of these players are gonna care about. You need to start working into the millions so you get more people to actually do it. Like the Zach LaVines, the Aaron Gordons, the Zion Williamsons, the Ja Morants. If you up the ante and you give them more money, you're gonna get more of a show for the fans. Personal opinion. Because $100,000 was almost the guy's career earnings, that literally almost his career earnings. So I'm not upset's not it because it's cool to see a guy like Mac McClung get in the spotlight. But at the same time, it's why don't we have All-Stars coming to the All-Star? The Michael Jordan dunk contest. We're not seeing things like that anymore. We're seeing Mac McClung, who just strictly does that, and it's a cool story for a little bit. But the viewers did well, so it's not going to really change anything. Everybody's watching it still, which is a plus, I guess. But, at the same time, I feel like you could definitely get even more out of it if you got some bigger names in it, but you up the ante in terms of what they were willing to, risk to go do something like the dunk contest or do something like the 3-point contest, which is a lot easier on the body, although you just saw some guys that are shooters just flat out. Jason Tatum pump fake. He was 8th on the team. Jason Tatum was 8th on the team. So they did it the wrong way. I don't know if it's the wrong way, but they're trying to sell that way. He was 8th on his own team in 3-point percentage, and he was in the 3-point contest. It was strange. Struggled, pump faked, I think cool for Dame. Dame winning, what's the last award that he won? He won the Rookie of the Year, right? It's the last thing he got. So the last thing he got was the Rookie of the Year, which is just, man, damn shame. Dame deserves more out there in Portland. He really does what he's doing, but he's never going to leave. He is loyal to a fault, and ultimately, I think his career is going to suffer for that. But that's a story for another day. Again, I thought McClung was amazing, but again, he's played 26 minutes his entire NBA career. What are we doing? Where's Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon too, or the Nate Robinsons and Dwight Howards, and Like, these are the events that I grew up on, and they were way bigger names, and they were way more up-and-coming players than this guy, like Mac McClung. Like, it's cool. Was it Jericho Sims, Mac McClung, Trey Murphy, and who was the other guy? McClung, Murphy, Jericho Sims, and there was... I'm going to have to look it up. I got to look it up. I shouldn't have to look up the NBA dunk contest contestants. Like, that's what I'm talking about here. Like, I shouldn't have to do this. I should know. I should know right off the bat. So, the three-point contest. They did the skills thing. I thought the skills thing was okay with, like, the teams. Three-point contest. Where is the dunk contest? Dunk contest was KJ Martin, Mac McClung, Trey Murphy, Jericho Sims. Like, and there were some cool dunks, don't get me wrong, but it's like, you're telling me, like, there's not other guys you can find that are bigger. Like I said, like the John Morants, the Zion Williamsons of the world. There are no injuries and stuff like that, but that's why I think you got to up, like, the incentive for these events so you get more out of it and more out of these All-Star weekends. You got to make them less, like, cheesy. I think you got to make them more legit because I think they're really cool events. Historically, they deserve more significance. But, hey, who am I? Maybe I just sound like an old head. And everybody's just happy the way it is now. But I think they deserve more than what they've been. I think there's more value to them. I know they don't hold value in terms of the effect in the season, and that's why no one's going to care at the end of the day. But everybody goes back and watches these highlights and these things, and it's a part of these legacies. Like, it's just cool, man. It's just cool nights. And I miss that in a sense. I miss that in a sense of these events being taken seriously. But where does the NBA stand, right now? Who are the title favorites? You get the Celtics in first. The Bucks are a half game behind them as we go into the break. And then you get the Nuggets out there in the West with trailing the Bucks and Celtics, but they're the best record in the West. The Grizzlies behind them. So if you go through the East, the teams that are in right now, Celtics, Bucks, Sixers 3 back, Cavs 5 back. Nets 7.5 back, and the Knicks 9.5 back. Been a pretty decent run, up and down team. And then for the play-in, it's the Heat would be taking on the Raptors 7-10. Hawks, Wizards would be 8-9, and then they would go from there. I think. So what is it? I think 7 wins and they're in, right? I think if the upper seeds win, they're in, and if they don't, they play. How does it work? I think if I forget how it works. I forget how the play-in tournament works. I think this play straight up. I gotta look it up. I'm frozen right now. NBA play-in tournament rules because I swore it was like if you're the it seems 7 through 10 highest winning percentages. How does the play-in tournament work? So 8, 9, 10th, and 7th would host the 8. And the winner of that game is awarded the 7, and then 9. Whoever the winner of 9 and 10 is plays the loser of 7, 8 to try and get in as the 8. So that's how that goes. I knew it was something like that. I was trying to break down in my head. Anyways, out west, the Nuggets 1, Grizzlies 2, Kings 3, Clippers 4, Suns 5, Mavs 6, only 2 games above 500. That's how much parity you have out west. Everybody thinks the West has gotten worse because of the records. I think it's quite the opposite. I think the West has just gotten so good that everybody's just so close, and that's why the records kind of are all so close. 7's the Pelicans, and there's Zion's hurt again, so Lord knows. Timberwolves 8, Warriors 9. Steph's hurt again too, I think, or he's not been 100% healthy. Thunder 10, Jazz 11, Blazers 12, Lakers 13. Why is that worth mentioning? Because I think that Spurs and the Rockets are more than 20 games. But the Lakers, I think, are a playoff team. Anyways, well, here it is. Here's my predictions. As I think the West is going to line up. Nuggets will stay at 1, Grizzlies 2. I see the Suns bumping up to 3. I see the Mavs bumping up to 4. I see Clippers 5. Kings I'll see at 6. Pelicans 7. I'll see the Warriors at 8. Thunder 9. And I'll take the Lakers at 10. And they'll be playing through the playing game. You want to look out east, Celtics 1, Bucks 2. I think that probably stays. Sixers 3. Now, Kevin Love going into the Heat's going to shift some stuff. So the Nets have been playing really, really well post-trade. Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges. Honestly, it's a team that I really want to see do well. You lose 3 top 75 NBA players all time, and you go off and you do better. It's a strange thing, but it's happening. So I'm all for it. Anyways, I'll stick with the Cavs at 4. I'll stick with the Nets. I don't know if as much is gonna change here. Kevin Love goes to the Heat. Cavs still at 4. Donovan Mitchell. Nets fall off. I'd say that the Heat, I kind of like it the way it is. I could see the Pacers slipping in. Pacers or Bulls will probably slip in, but the Raptors haven't really done anything crazy. I see the Wizards probably dropping out, and I'd say the Pacers probably sliding in as the only difference, and then you just bump the Raptors up. But everything else, I don't really see a big shift in the East. I don't. I think it's the Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers, and then everybody else. So, and out West, it's different because I think literally anybody in the West literally anybody at any point in the West, on any night can do it. But this is the big year, at least for the Jokic's legacy in terms of not just winning, opportunity to win 3 MVPs in a row, but what's he going to do with it? And that's the big thing. Jamal Murray get back to health, Michael Porter Jr. staying healthy. They're a deep roster. We'll see how far I can carry him. NBA MVP. I'm going Jokic. I'm switching up for my Doncic take. I'm going Jokic for NBA MVP. I think DPOY. I mean, defense. The NBA is just so. It's just nobody cares for it anymore. Marcus Smart won it last year, and I thought that was not good at all. I was upset. With that. Well, considering he won it and then, considered to get lit up. Jaren Jackson's up there. Brook Lopez up there. Bam's up there. Bam can pretty much. Giannis up there too. I'll probably stick with Jaren Jackson considering the amount of blocks that he gets per game for Defensive Player of the Year. MVP's not Tatum. We've been over this before. We'll go over it again. Jason Tatum is not an NBA MVP. Just is not. Jared Allen's up there too. Nick Claxton's been a dog. That whole Nets team really. I'm all for it. Embiid too, been okay. But yeah, Jaren Jackson. We like Jaren Jackson. Is it 6th man of the year? It was Russ until he got bought out, right? I mean, hell, he was coming off the bench. I don't know how Cam Thomas gonna that's the rotation is gonna work out. So that's the other thing too, is how are these Malcolm Brogdon's coming off the bench for the C's. I think he's probably the favorite. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey. I said Westbrook up there too, but we don't know what's going to be the deal with his new team. Jordan Poole, but Brogdon probably for the Celtics, just based off the fact that he's like the legit 6th man for them. DPOY 6th man MVP. I'm not going to go through the All NBA teams. If I'm going to pick a title winner right now, I'm taking the Bucks to win the title. But after that performance against the Celtics the other night, I am not entirely sure. I still don't think that the Celtics truthfully... I can see a Bucks-Suns rematch, but now with KD out there. I still don't truthfully see the Celtics as true title contenders. I just don't think they have the killer instinct, the killer edge that will propel them to something like that. And a lot of people just continue to call me a hater, but I don't know. I just feel that they're not there yet with the young head coach. And I think there's a lot of good things to say about the Celtics, but I still just don't think they're at that level yet to compete at that level yet for a championship. So that's where I stand at the NBA All-Star break. I'm going to be more consistent on posting on specific days. Wednesdays and Saturdays is when you're going to get your rundown news, rundown stuff. So I'm also going to be back to posting clips and stuff too. I have some other side projects I'm working on the side. Maybe some more news for that to come. It might actually, it's its own thing. I'll keep it on the wraps for now. But that's it. It's pretty much all I got in this one. We got some guests coming up. Israel Furtado is coming up this week. I got him for the Wednesday show. I'm going to try and get Pat Aiken on for the Saturday one. If I can get him Friday night, that'd be good. One way or the other, we're going to get it on there. We're going to keep chugging, keep plugging away at this, and continue to pump out content. Again, this was, I think, 9 or 10 days since my last podcast. So that's probably the shortest hiatus we're going to consider into here. So that's a plus. I mean, at least I'm not doing my 3-4 year long hiatuses. It's the 10 days. 10 days is probably the shortest one I've ever taken. I felt bad. But the consistency's been great. We continue to grow. I continue to love the support from everybody. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Calls, please call in. Call or text in. I'm going to start making more posts. But we did get a text. Someone asked me if I wanted to actually put this on the radio. It was I got to actually email those people because it was a really good idea. And I have to look into that. So shout out to the person who did text it. I'm not going to be throwing names out there, but I do appreciate reaching out for that. Because I'm definitely going to look into it, and I definitely do see it as a possibility for the future of the show. Also, I think that's really it. All the social medias, everything you need to know is down below in the description to follow me there. Again, all these clips come up. I do YouTube Shorts, I do Instagram Reels, I do TikToks. Literally all of it's up there. I'm going to probably be a little more active on TikTok doing some stuff separate from the other ones, but I'm still going to be making like my own edits day by day to post up with more clips specifically from the show. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Sorry if this feels rushed or whatever it may be. I had to get this out here and I need to get back on that consistency. So again, little bit of an absence of me post Super Bowl. Not the best. I kind of fumbled the bag there. But, I had a week to stew. We had a week to stew in my head, and we put it all together. So at the end of the day, we got here, and that's what matters. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. But your boy Rufus